Well, I often hear friends and families and colleagues discussing college savings plans, and I work at Saginaw Valley. What do you think is the best way for a family to save for college?
Gosh, that's a great question, and one that there's normally not a quick answer to. I put on a lot of the financial aid nights here in our local area with the school systems, and I'm often asked, what is the number one best way? They all want to know what type of account should we use. So, because what may be right for one family may be different for another family. So I'd suggest to all of my clients, before we get started, first we want to make sure us as parents, we're on track financially to accomplish our long-term goals and objectives. We need to make sure that mom and dad are on track financially for retirement, and the best way to do that is going through kind of a financial planning process. Once we've done that and we've determined that we as parents are on track financially, then there's a whole array of different types of college savings investment options and vehicles that we can use. One of the plans that I like a lot is referred to as a 529 college savings plan.
I've heard of 529. What is that?
College 529 savings plan is basically a tax-advantaged college savings plan where the IRS will allow us to set up and establish and fund accounts. There are tax benefits with these accounts that the contributions made to them can grow tax-deferred. And through the years, the earnings will grow tax-deferred, and when it comes time for us to pull take distributions to help pay for future qualified expenses, the distributions come out tax-free. There's a couple different types of plans here that we have to choose from with regard to the 529 plan. The first one we would refer to as a prepaid tuition plan. And basically what that is we're going in as parents and we're prepaying tuition at today's tuition rates. So for example, if I've got a child that's 10 years away from college, based on the cost of tuition here today, we can start prepaying those plans either in a lump sum or by making monthly installments from now until the time they go off to school. And the benefit to that type of plan is it's going to keep pace with inflation and tuition increases. So if college tuition goes up at 6 or 7% a year, then they're backed by the states to guarantee when the funds are needed that it's guaranteed to offset tuition. Those plans would cover tuition and tuition only. Another type of plan is referred to as a college 529 college savings plan, and this is going to be a little bit different in that it's more investment directed. So we can pick and choose different investments that may be conservative, aggressive. There are plans that will allow the allocation to become more conservative as our children get closer to needing the funds when they go off to school. The big difference between the college savings 529 plan versus the prepaid tuition is the prepaid tuition can be used for tuition only, whereas the distributions from a college savings investment plan can be used for not only tuition but for room and board, books, computer, laptop if required. They can be used for a wide array of expenses.
Are there any negatives aspects to a 529 that we should be aware of?
There can be. So we talk about a lot of the tax benefits associated with these plans, and as long as it's money's going in here that we know we're going to need for college education, there are tax advantages. The one risk that we run, and if our kids are young, we may not be 100% certain they're going to go off to college, and if for whatever reason they opt not to, or a vocational school or what have you, then any of the earnings in there, if they come out for something other than a qualified college-related expense, then they are subject to both ordinary income tax plus an IRS penalty of 10%. So it's something we want to make sure the dollars we're putting into these types of plans are intended for our child's future college education.
Who offers 529 plans, and how would someone go about setting up an account for a child?
Good question. 529 plans are backed and sponsored by states and are made available through various investment companies, many mutual fund companies. There are lots of plans to choose from. So we definitely want to do some homework to begin to evaluate the different types of plans that are out there. A plan that may be right for someone here in Michigan may not be the best plan for someone, let's say, that lives in Virginia. So there's a lot of different costs and fees associated with the plans. I would encourage folks to do research or work with their advisor to begin to compare cost to set up the plan, cost to purchase or invest into the plan. And I would encourage folks to also look at their state-sponsored plans first. And the reason for that is many of the state-sponsored plans, like we have here in Michigan, will allow a state income tax deduction for contributions made into them. So just for contributing or making qualified contributions, you may get a state tax deduction just for putting money in, whereas if we use a plan that's sponsored by another state, we may not be entitled to that same tax deductions. So you definitely want to do some research before establishing and funding a plan.
Well, education is always on the minds, I think, of parents, and having someone with your expertise is great. What should people do if they want more information?
If they want, they can contact our office directly at 1-800-282-4503 if you have any further questions. May visit us on the web, and our web address is www.maier, spelled M-A-I-E-R, and associates.com.
Oh, it's been really helpful. Thank you.
Thank you.